From the one and only, this is a Local 10 News Update, sponsored by FHIA, Florida Home Improvement Associates.
Good afternoon, South Florida. I'm Christy Kruger. Here's a look at some of the stories making news on this Thursday. We have some breaking news right now, a possible abduction in West Kendall. Surveillance released by police showing a woman crying as she's arguing with a man. She asked staffers for some help. They began dialing 911. This all happened at the Wendy's on Kendall Drive at 162nd Avenue. The man eventually grabs that woman by the arm and walks out as she held open the door, and then she was holding onto the door frame crying. The two then take off in a black sedan. If you recognize these people, call police. Shooting has left one man dead. Crime scene investigators have been on that scene at Northeast 1st Avenue and 55th Street where the shooting took place. Evidence markers lining a gate outside of a housing complex while police look around that area. The search is on for the person behind the trigger. And another search is also underway for a gunman behind a deadly home invasion that happened in Cutler Bay. Police believe it's all connected to a crime spree. 31-year-old Daniel Macco was killed by armed thieves at his front door. Neighbors say a black Dodge van was used as the getaway car, and detectives believe that vehicle was stolen from another home just a few blocks away. A third victim was also shot during another robbery in the very same area, but that person survived. And an arrest made in connection with a shooting scare near a synagogue and elementary school in Miami Beach. 30-year-old Eddie Reed is now facing a slew of charges. Officers surrounded the scene off of Chase Avenue and 41st Street last night. Not clear what actually motivated that suspect. Thankfully, no one got hurt.
Listen to Local 10's podcast, The Florida Files, wherever you are, whenever you want. Just say, Alexa, play the Florida Files podcast.
Getting the latest episode of Florida Files. Here it is from TuneIn.
Previously on the Florida Files.
Or just ask Siri, I want to hear the latest Florida Files podcast.
Here's the newest episode of the Florida Files.
Get the Florida Files on Alexa, Google Home, or Apple devices just by saying play the Florida Files podcast. The Florida Files from the one and only Local 10.
A Lauderhill officer rushed to the hospital after a crash involving her cruiser. This happened on University Drive just south of Commercial Boulevard. Police say another driver slammed into the cruiser. The officer was able to call for help, though. She was taken to the hospital. She has minor injuries to her face. The man in the other vehicle was also taken to the hospital. He has a leg injury. As breaking news happens, we have you covered on air and online. Head to local10.com for more local news coverage and updates all day long.